Hello, everyone. I'm Marty Janeski, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we are your hosts of the local sports wrap-up. Channel 15, Wyandotte Cable. Today is March 14th, 2020. Ken, good to have you back.
Thanks, it's good to be
Last
back.
week's show was brutal because I was here all by myself and I was not prepared.
Sound like me.
So, a lot of stuff has happened in a week.
Yes, it has. You can watch CNN or you can get it from us.
That's right.
I was tested by the doctor. He said I got something, so you can get it from us.
Our governor and the whole country has shut down high school sports for a month. Nothing will resume until April 30th. And why is that?
Well, I would say the coronavirus, but I could be wrong. But I can hear the high school kids crying. They were moaning like crazy.
Because they're not in school anymore.
Yes. But they do have to do it online. Am I correct on that or no?
Some. I know my employee's daughter, who is 9, is going to be doing online classes in third grade.
Third grade, they're doing online classes?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And I know my daughter's at U of M, and they're doing online classes, obviously.
When we went to school, we wouldn't even have the computers there to do that, so
no.
We would just be out to the library.
So the coronavirus, or COVID-19, how do you know? How do you know when you have it?
Well, after about a few days, if you die, then you had it.
Is that how it works?
Because you can't get the testing. Only when you have the real bad symptoms, you got to call your doctor, correct? Got to call your doctor. Your doctor makes a decision on the phone whether to see him. And believe me, if I was your doctor, I ain't seeing you. You'll have a drive-by.
They have a drive-by.
I know they do.
How to protect yourself? Well, wash your hands, obviously. If you don't know what it is now, you're living in a bubble. And if you don't believe it's serious, you're living in a bubble.
I can emphasize, when I talked, I worked for a microbiological company, and they said that when you wash your hands, just like they're telling you, 20 seconds. Not only the 20 seconds, but this was emphasized where I worked. You use 3 paper towels. Not 1, not 2, 3.
Interesting.
Yes, because the moisture stays on your hands. 2,
shortness of breath.
shortness
cough.
of breath.
Now, Ken, if anybody doesn't know, and he has mentioned on this show before, has ALS. What are you doing out, Ken?
Trying to catch a virus.
That's right. So then what do you do when you catch it? You gotta.
Well, it's a respiratory virus, so I'll go quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that don't bother me. Going long does, but yeah, it's all respiratory, so your problems will persist until it gets taken care of.
And this whole disease, this whole virus, I will say that for the first 4 or 5 days, you're a carrier and you don't have any symptoms at all.
Correct.
This is why everybody's freaking out, because I could be sitting next to Ken and carrying it, so I'm not going to touch him, I'm not going to breathe on him. And I have washed my hands before the show.
So we're not going for a cold one after?
We could.
Oh. All right.
It is the weekend.
But I would like to emphasize vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. They tell you that if you have a strong immune system, the chances of getting it become a lot slimmer. And vitamin C helps the immune system. I take vitamin C all the time. I don't get flus. I rarely ever catch a cold, but I did catch the ALS.
Yeah, you didn't catch ALS. I don't know how
it caught me.
It caught you.
Yeah.
So, again, stay out of crowds. They're limiting it to 250 people in the state of Michigan. Don't go. But personally, I'm not going where there's 50 people. Maybe 100. Maybe I'll go where there's 100.
Well, wait a second now. I do like the casino, so the casino is...
They're not closing.
They're not closing. Duggan said he wanted to do that, but I think it's the building maintenance or health, the Department of Health, that would shut them down. And with all you slip them guys, there's no way they're going to come in. And,
there's so much under the table action going on with that.
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead.
And it does leave people some social gathering. They're going to block off certain areas that will give them keep the amount of people down under 250. I just want to say that to anybody who likes to go to the casino, they're still open.
Yes, they are. So a lot of teams, a lot of downriver things were impacted, obviously. The ice extravaganza that was here at the Yak coming up has been canceled. You know, you have to look to get your tickets. It was Thursday afternoon that the Michigan High School Athletic Association decided that all winter postseason events would be canceled, and that means you had the state championships for ice hockey, boys swimming and diving, and it's affected the remainder of the basketball playoffs. No timetable has been determined for possible rescheduling of these tournaments, and then Governor Whitmer, made it official that all schools will be closed until April 6th. Now, then April 7th starts spring break, so really the kids are off till the 14th. Which they're really probably going to complain about.
Well, I understand they're all enjoying the fact that they're off for the spring break and school because airlines are cutting back, the prices are going back. They can travel and go into a lot of places, although Disney
closed too. First time, they've only been closed 4 days in the last couple of decades, and it was all because of hurricanes.
Correct.
They've never closed for anything else.
Boston Marathon is 124 years. Now will not be run on its date in April.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade, one of my favorite events downtown.
That will not stop the Irish. We will find some place to take care of what we need to.
Because you're part Irish.
Oh, I am. The hand to the mouth to the bottle.
National Hockey League, Big Ten Tournament, NBA, all suspended. They're not shutting things down. So the state semifinals for hockey were scheduled for yesterday, Thursday, and Friday.
How'd they do?
They were in Plymouth. And the title games were set for today. What got affected by that?
Well, what got affected by that? I'd say locally, Trenton was preparing to skate against Heartland, and Gabriel Shard was looking forward to a D3 matchup with Midland Dow. We know Midland Dow very well from high school days.
Oh, I played Heartland and those teams when I coached JV. They were always strong units.
They're strong, very, very strong. Midland Dow is always strong. They're like our Woodhaven.
Yeah. They probably got something suspended there too.
But both Trenton and Richard qualified for the state semis for the third consecutive season, and there's a lot to be said about that, mister.
Final Four, yeah.
Yes.
Final Four.
How about girls basketball? Flat Rock and Allen Park Intercity Baptist. Intercity Baptist always seems to be tough, if you ask me.
D4 though, yeah,
right.
D4.
Flat Rock 21-3, and Baptist was 20-2. You must have known D4. I didn't know that.
They are the only two downriver girls teams left standing.
That is correct. That is correct.
They're on hiatus until we find something out.
But they did have a big D1 matchup between number 1 ranked River Rouge, 20-1. They are very tough, and or were, because I don't believe they're going to be playing. Detroit Cass Tech, always tough. Was slated for Friday at Fordson, but that did not go. Rouge was a reigning state finalist and has reached state semis 3 years in a row. Always tough over there. Those kids can play. On the other hand, Wyandotte Roosevelt 17-4. I tell you what, I did a couple of games broadcasting with Joel Atkins, who works producer here, and had a blast. They're a very entertaining team to watch. They run up and down that floor, and they do a few turnovers, but they're a very exciting team to watch. Very good ball players.
The whole key of basketball, you being a coach, limit the turnovers. You're going to have them.
Correct.
You're going to have a couple, whether it's a traveling call, that's a turnover.
Correct.
But, just limit them. Right. It's like in bowling, limit your mistakes.
Oh, we're going to get to that,
We're
mister.
going to get to that, yes.
We're going to get to that. But anyway, they were going to do a final matchup of our district, but they won't be playing. But they were to play Lincoln Park. Trent was to play Bedford. Swans over. Sometimes I feel like...
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think the Wyandotte Lincoln Park winner was going to have the right to play the Rouge team. That's where they were going next, because Mr. DeSena told me that.
Really?
They'd have the right to go play the Rouge team.
Well, let's just say that we did well.
Yeah, it's what we did get though last weekend. The bowling got in, but wrestling got in, and on the 6th and the 7th, the weekend before, can I say all hell broke loose?
I don't know. It's just,
we'll
yeah.
go
ahead.
All heck broke
loose. We got
loose.
the nod.
Yeah. So there were 16 area wrestlers that got All-State honors.
16,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Cody Brenner of New Boston Huron, and Omari Embry of Warren Woods Tower, which isn't downriver, but Cody Brenner was the finished second in D2. He lost by a 3-2 decision. That had to be one heck of a wrestling
Who did he
match.
wrestle?
He wrestled this kid from Warren Woods Tower, Omari Embry. Now, Brenner had defeated Embry to win the regional.
So he actually defeated him to win the regional, and then because of their bracketing, they met each other in the final. Now, how tough is that?
Yeah, so there was some
and lost
familiar
3-2. Wow, what a tough.
And that's the third year in a row that Huron's had a wrestler in the championship match. So Huron's all about wrestling, obviously.
Right,
And
right.
I know their boys bowling team is pretty good too.
Oh, yes, they are.
So we had 3 kids from Huron get in. Wyandotte Roosevelt's Nathan Giroir and Nick Biondo were both all-staters.
Again. They're tough.
Fifth and 6th in Division I. Top 8 get all-state honors.
Beautiful.
The next 8 get second team.
Beautiful.
So the top 16.
Absolutely.
So Woodhaven had 2, Mason Grasso and Marcelo Luna. And Lincoln Park had Nick West. He had a 4th place finish.
Good for him.
And yeah. And then where else were we at? Southgate had a Ryan Cassiano. And then Adrian Roses and Ija Stench. So those are some of the few kids. Trenton had a guy pick up All-State in D2, Sam Rickman. And Carlson, Ryan Goulet. And Melvindale, Musa Yahia. And those are some of the 16 kids that made it, got their matches in.
Good for
the
them.
weekend before. And because I can't imagine, like, they would have never, there were so many kids packed in Thunderbolt the weekend before.
Oh, I know, I saw.
And who else won All-State? We got another Downriver team that won an All-State title.
Yes, Allen Park cheer.
Ah.
I like it when you give me the cheerleaders. It's such a small picture. They won Division II state championship. Gibraltar Carlson placed second. It's great that we got anybody in All-State. We're a pretty big state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
After finishing runner-up the last 2 years, Allen Park came away with the Division II championship on Saturday in Grand Rapids. The Jaguars wrapped up the day with a score of 790.88 and finished with 3 points ahead of two-time reigning champion Gibraltar Carlson. Wow, these two.
3 points.
And out of the whole state, they're first and second.
Think about that. There's at 3 points after 3 rounds. That's and the scoring is in the hundreds, isn't it?
780.
Yeah, there you go.
790. But Allen Park finished 2 years runner-up and then finally won. The reigning champ for the last 2 years was Gibraltar Carlson, and they finished runner-up to Allen Park this time. Those two have been there for the last 3 years. Those two.
And
Pretty
I
tough.
think Carlson's been top 2 for 13 years or something like that. It said that they are either 1 or 2. So they're the team you got to knock off to get in there.
Correct, to get in there, just to get in there. Marked Allen Park's first state title since 2017. That kills me. 2017, like it's been so long ago. You know, come on, give me a break.
All how you word it. It's all how you word it.
And it's third in the program history. In addition, it marked the 5th consecutive season that the Jags of Carleton, which I just went on, have finished 1-2. The 5th out of the whole state. Those two were 1-2.
D2 teams, yeah,
That is
interesting.
incredibly impressive. They got some good cheerleaders. I wonder how their
Obviously.
teams did with all them good cheering.
Well, let's think about the football team. They won 1 playoff game, I believe. And basketball, they're not in the finals. We didn't read anything about them.
No.
You know what I couldn't find anything on was the Wyandotte cheer team. Because in all these downriver tournaments throughout the thing, they won a couple. They were second, but we're D1. And I didn't see anything in any research
I didn't either.
any research that I did, and I have to imagine the sports section and in the News Herald, it's going to be getting thin. It's going to be looking like this.
It is.
Because there'll be nothing to talk about.
Can't imagine my Sports Illustrated. They're probably going to go to where they are now because they'll go back to past sports people.
So then we did have the bowling take place last week.
Well, I'm just to finish up on that cheer. Carlson, it was the program's 13th consecutive top 2 finish and 17th overall. That is amazingly impressive for whoever that coach is at Carlson. I just had to add that.
Wow.
So
that's what I thought I read. 13th consecutive top 2.
Yeah.
Either they win it or they finish second.
Or there's only a couple teams in it.
No, it's not at the state finals.
Well, I just wanted to
Come
make
on,
that.
Not at the state finals.
Well, I just want to make a point is that it's impressive to get there, then it's more impressive to where you finish.
Don't I know something about that?
Yeah, tell me, how'd you, didn't you have some girls that did well? Like a whole team?
Like a whole team.
Well,
that
you
I
were
refuse to talk about without you here because the bowler you are.
Oh,
I ran
was.
last week's show. Yeah, was, whatever. Bowler you are. I'll still say you are.
Thank you.
6 downriver area bowlers earned all state honors in singles. Let's start there. Then we'll talk about my wonderful team.
Fantastic. Let's go there.
Woodhaven. In the boys Division I, Marco Ramirez reached the semifinals on Saturday at Thunderbolt.
Who's he bowl for?
Woodhaven. He finished 9th. He qualified 9th. Top 16 make it now in the singles.
So what do they do there? They have a roll-off? Or are they
number
just
16 bowls the top seed.
Okay.
15 bowls the second seed.
I shoot 150, he shoots 151, I'm out, he's in.
Two game total.
2 game. Oh, very good.
So
that gives you a shot in case you have a bad.
Correct.
Good.
Now he averaged 2-0 to qualify, 12:46 for 6 games.
Good for him.
And then first round, Ramirez defeated Caleb Tate, 394 to 353. Not bad.
Not bad.
Then he was a junior, so he's coming back. He beat Rockford's Matt Buck, who was throwing the heck out of the ball because for reasons.
And you were there to watch.
I was there. They were right by us, and I'll tell you why in a minute. He shot 484 to 378. So the kid got down. And, he's not a two-handed cranker. This Ramirez is just a one-handed, smooth delivery.
A throwback.
Walks real slow, sets the ball down real slow, doesn't wind it up, yet he was dialed in. Then he lost to the next kid, Dylan Kelly, 428 to 396. So he come off a 480, and then he shot 396.
$190 something.
And I will say it, the hardest thing to do is to continue that high score stuff. Even in League Bowl, when you shoot a 270 or 280, it's so hard to follow it up with another one.
It is. That's why we have high game of the night.
Correct. That's why high game wins all the money, not totals.
That's right.
So I've won my share of both. Isaac Gergen of Midland was the D1 boys champion. Now, Gergen, you might know that name from Bo Gergen, the PBA guy.
Yes.
Who also bowled. I want to say he bowled for the Team USA teams too. I could be wrong, but Bo Gergen is a professional bowler, and his kid
is on his way.
I mean, let's just say the kid gets the knowledge that is good bowling from his dad, and the science behind it. The science behind it. On the girls' side, and a shout out goes to Angelita Rodriguez. She made it to the final 8. There she is, wearing that Wyandotte jersey.
How cool. What is she? Freshman?
Freshman.
Freshman. You can have her for 3 more years?
The only 9th grader in the mix.
The only 9th grader, and she made All-State?
Yes, sir.
How impressive.
It was really great to watch. I'm allowed as the coach to be there with her. She qualified 15th. And she went on to beat Samantha Mason of Sterling Heights by a score of 372 to 332.
How sweet. Now, if I can add something, as I'm looking at this picture, great picture. Is that a Mexican flag behind her?
We're in the arena.
Isn't that a Mexican flag?
It does look, and one's the Italian flag next to it, isn't it? I don't know my flags.
Oh, okay.
But they had that international cup here one year, and that's why. All
But
that
I think
stuff.
it's appropriate if that was a Mexican flag. Is she Mexican?
I don't know.
Well, the name
Hispanic would be the proper way to say
is.
that.
Oh, I'm not politically correct.
No, like always.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But anyway, her dad, her grandpa works at Indian Lanes, and her dad's a good bowler. And I'm pretty sure her mom knows her way around a bowling ball.
So she gets to practice.
So yeah, and she came on the team this year and had a good year, but it took time for her to get accustomed to what we do. The game's different.
So can I say something about that? You said that her dad works at Indian Lanes,
Well, her grandpa works.
Her
at
grandpa,
Indian.
so she has access to all this practice.
She started
That
young.
was the problem whenever we were growing up. You got a head start on me because your mom worked at the bowling alley, and I had to go up there and pay for my bowling.
I had passion too. I liked to bowl.
Oh, okay. I had passion too. I didn't have cash.
I should have got a job. Should have got a job there. Like
I ended up getting a job there.
There you go. That didn't work. Okay, so after we beat the first round and got to the final 8, Farmington's Carrington Beeman defeated her 412 to 389.
412. Ah,
She was right there. Match. She was right. She won the first game 202 to 200.
Nice
and
match.
the girl threw the last 4 to get up to 200, or we would have had a nice lead. And then it was a good match. Cheyenne Washington of Lake Orion was the girls' champ. Now, a funny thing happened in this whole thing. We got into game 6 of the singles, and both my girls, Alicia Rager, who you know, and Angelita, were both tied for the 17th spot. 5 pins out of the number. They had 957, and the number was 962. So they both knew they had the ball.
Correct.
You know, and they both bowled a good game. Alicia shot 193.
Nice.
Or not 192, and Angelita shot 212. And Angelita snuck into the 15th spot, and Alicia didn't make it. And of course, she was heartbroken because she had made it 2 years running.
Correct.
You know, Alicia did.
And she's a senior this year?
Yes. And
Oh,
she threw the ball good. She had a little bit of the middle lull there, but once we changed equipment, she got better. Game's a cruel game. You know, she missed by a mark. She missed by 10 pins getting in. You know, but there were 2 games. There was a 269 and a 240 something last game that catapulted these girls from 19th, 20th up into the mix, which is probably the reason Alicia didn't get in. Because without those 2 games, I was dissecting the sheet at home afterwards. She's in. Because the field averaged 193 and Alicia averaged 193. You know, she just missed by a couple percentage points.
Sure.
You know, and which is a shame. But, you know, like I told her afterwards, you know, you compete, and that's all you can do is compete. Leave it out there. You can't control what other people do. And she was in the number, out of the number, battled back to get right next to the number. You know, you gave it your best shot. She stepped up in the 10th through all 3 strikes, you know. She opened in the 9th that game, unfortunately, and I said, you know, it's not over. Step up like the bowler you are and throw 3. And she stepped right up and bang, bang, bang.
Because she's done it for years.
Right. Now, you know, it was terrible. She finished 18th, though. I
Nothing
mean,
to hang your head about.
No, and she's been in the mix the last 2 years, you know. She, a good bowler. You know,
as we were bowling, sorry about interrupting, but as you're bowling, you had made the point earlier that one big game, you need to throw in that big game when them strikes start. It's so important to keep carrying them out because that'll be the big game that hopefully will put you over when you have a game you struggle.
And that Elise started 248. She was leading the tournament.
Correct.
At the time, but this was not going to be that kind of tournament. Last year, she shot 1,400.
Wow.
Okay, and was qualified like 6th.
Wow.
You know, this year, the scores were way down. Scores were nowhere near that, and it was going to be a grind, and it was a grind.
It was a tougher shot.
It was a grind. You know, when you get when you get in with 1150. And that gets you in. Last year, you wouldn't have got in with 1150.
Great. Nice job, gals.
Yeah, they did great. Now,
how about the team?
How about
keep that up.
With 5 minutes left, how about the team? I love my team. Love them dearly.
Well, you don't get all 5 minutes.
We qualified 17th out of 18.
And you won your division.
We won the league.
The league,
We won
and
the
you
league. We
qualified.
at the regional second.
So those are two big things.
I couldn't be prouder.
These girls have established your program. You and these girls have established this program. Very proud of those girls.
Yeah, you were involved last year and saw.
Absolutely, your leaps and bounds. These girls got to this point because of you and because of their desire.
I had 7 girls up there bowling on the varsity. I lose 3 of them. Okay, and I got two JV that may step in nicely. We shall see.
I think your program's going to be just fine for next year.
Yeah, I worry just, like I am.
But them girls are tough. They won. They qualified 2 years in a row now.
It was unfortunate that we come out of the gate, you bowl 8 Baker games, and we came out of the gate 128 and 111. Now, you're with 18 of the best teams in the state. You certainly can't spot them. The first cut was 170 average. The first cut line after 2 games.
You have to
Now,
have a cut line.
I'll give Elise credit right now. She struck out for that 128. Okay, she was my anchor bowler, and she was solid. Those were like the only 3 marks of the game. No, we had a couple.
But they come at a good time.
Oh, it was. We just weren't comfortable.
Correct.
We weren't comfortable in
Allie
our
was
home
tough.
house. Basically, Allen Park could be a home house, and I don't know as a coach what
Because
I
it was
could
that
do.
Thunder Bowl, correct?
Yeah, what I could do any different. I switched up the bodies. We switched up the lineup. We tried to get them to just bowl the lane, because that's what you have to do. You have to just make your shot, hit the head pin, make your spare.
Correct.
Hit the head pin, make your spare. Hit the head. I mean, it can be simplified in the simplest of of procedures, but it's a complicated game too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And here's a little stat before we move on to no more sports being around.
Well, extravaganza, but go ahead, yes.
Yeah, I mentioned that wasn't going on.
Oh, did you?
We were so far behind after the first team game that we shot 9-16 as a team, the second team game.
Wow.
That was out of 18 teams, it was the second highest series bowled. The team that was on top that was going to be the number 1 seed, what the heck was that team's name? Who won it? Real quick, like Division 1. Lake Orion. Lake Orion was going to win it. There was no doubt they were going to win it. Well, they were going to lead it. They didn't end up winning the team event. But we were so far behind that we shot 9-16 and we moved up 1 spot.
That's all?
From 18th to 17th, we jumped Belleville.
Look at how the first games.
But we were bowling that last team game against Monroe, who only shot 850. Okay?
Yeah.
And they went from 13th to 8th and got into the show.
Wow.
With an 850. So that just shows you how far behind we were.
Oh, yeah, he started out.
We started out 112 pins off the number or something like that, and we ended up 112 pins from qualifying. Wow. Had we shot 2 916s, we would have got in. We shot 794 and 916 in the team games. Well, they were trying.
It was a very good year.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Don't forget to get a hold of us. Hey, Joe W., we see your emails. We see your comments. He comments all the time on YouTube.
All right.
We like Joe. We like Butch. You know, all them guys.
Is that one of our aliases?
Witkowski.
Oh, okay.
Joe.
Oh, Joe, our Joe.
Butch. Joe. And then if you want to reach us on email, localsportswrapup@gmail.com. You want to be on the show, get a hold of us. We got a few guys lined up since there's not a lot of sports to talk about.
Girls can come here too, just so you know.
We might get the pickleball guy on
next. I like that guy.
Yeah, he wants to come on.
He likes to get pickled.
Tournaments are coming. I'm sure they won't postpone that stuff. Who knows, though? I don't know what next week holds. But I'm Marty Janeski.
Because we could get the virus.
That's right. I could give it to him. I could be carrying it.
Odd Jones is with us today.
That's right. So
is that Ode?
Don't forget to watch us next week. Catch us on YouTube. I'm Marty Janeski, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we will be back in a week to do this again. Be safe. Hi, Mom.
Wash your hands.
Shut down Mom's nursing home, too. I can't even go visit.
Wow.
Well, rehab center.
Will they let her out?
No. Can't even go. Can't even go in because this thing affects old people
goodbye,
like
Cookie.
me.
I mean, not goodbye. So long.